to the next level.
Look, I already know what you're going to say. There's too much going on in the thumbnails, probably too much going on in this video if you want to be honest. Gameplay, why did I buy this game, a full review, boss battles, the ending spoiled, yeah, spoiler alert. If you're trying to avoid spoilers, you don't want to see the ending, the 2320 mark is what you want to avoid. Or you may want to avoid this game altogether and this gameplay altogether, and I wouldn't blame you, because it's not the greatest game in the world. What started out as I'm assuming, a Cuphead clone by two devs, and this is their first game and it's just two of them, so I'll give them props for that. But there's been plenty of other games that have been developed by one or two people, and those games were phenomenal and went on to great success. Something about this isn't inspired. It's missing something. It's missing quality, namely. I don't know how the devs feel about this, but clearly they got to be stealing a play or two out of Cuphead's playbook. I think, and a lot of the internet seems to think, that this game copied Cuphead or ripped off Cuphead, or maybe it was inspired homage to Cuphead. Who knows? Whatever. Look at the bosses. You make the decision. You decide for yourself. But regardless of that fact, we're going to get to the gameplay, the graphics, and the story of this game. Now, graphics-wise, it reminds me of Flash animation circa 2000s, early 2000s. And some of the animation's good, but a lot of it just looks like it's missing frames. The hit detection, the hitboxes are slightly off sometimes, which is annoying. Boss battles are a pain in the neck sometimes, because it feels like when they're making a transition from one phase to the second or third, you're getting hit off screen. You didn't have time to react. That's just not good game mechanics. It's just unfair. It's not fun. It's really a shame, because there's a lot of potential here. It has the potential to be a good game. I paid $19.99 for it. I got a physical copy. Pre-ordered it like an idiot. This is where the why did I buy this game comes into play. Had I gotten it for cheaper,
I'd buy that for $1.
but I didn't buy it for $1. I bought it for $19.99, which is what a digital copy goes for. It's not too bad. That game over screen, get used to it. You're going to be seeing it quite a bit. The game is not really hard. There's 3 difficulty levels. I really didn't notice a difference in difficulty levels, although I have no chance in hell am I going to play it. Once I've beaten it, I'm not going back to finish it on insane difficulty just so that I can get a few trophies. It's just not worth it to me. I've had my fill of the game.
Why?
I'll tell you why, because the game sucks. It could have been so much more. With all due respect to the two devs that put this together, maybe one day they'll be able to come up with a great game and a great concept, but this is not it. It's clearly lacking fundamentally in so many levels. The sound effects are stock. It's missing sound effects. The music's not as bad. A lot of people complain about the music. The music's not too bad. It does get repetitive. It could be more varied. The bosses probably are the best part of the game. Bosses are fun for the most part. Some of them are kind of cut and paste. Some of them are really generic. Some shoot just one thing. Some of them just spam like 8 different attacks. It's kind of all over the place. Some of them, there's a difficulty curve that's up and down. It's all over the map. The run and gun levels are horrific. They're boring. They're long. They're randomly generated. Why are they there? I don't know. They would have done better if they would have just got rid of that part and just concentrated and make it just non-stop boss battles. Clearly, they were inspired by Contra, Gunstar Heroes, Mega Man, and I'm assuming Cuphead, because there's more than a few similarities. I mean, that looks like Cagney Carnation right there. But I digress. The game on its own, it's just a below average game. It's not the worst game in the world. You could play worse. Obviously, multiplayer is where it's at. It's a way more fun when there's 2 players playing. That's any game, though. You can take a turd, and once you put multiplayer in it, at least, you're enjoying it together, you're joking around, you're having fun together, that you don't notice how bad the game is. This game is clearly lacking. It's very short, so the difficulty curve is up there because it's so short. And that's like in a lot of old school games. This game, though, I'm not even sure why it was on my radar originally. I guess just because I like platformers, I like Cuphead games, I like animation. I like cool stuff, but this ain't it. So I kicked myself. Why did I buy this game? Because I knew going into it was going to be bad. I knew 2 devs. I had bad feeling going in, and I still bought it like an idiot. That cool long intro and animation at the beginning of the game, well, don't get used to that because that was in the trailer for the game originally. But it's all downhill from there. The animation in game, for the most part, is janky at times. It looks like it's Flash animation from 25 years ago. It's the in game, the cutscenes, if you can call them cutscenes, basically still photos. There's no real animation, there's no talking. So the graphics and sound definitely leave a lot to be desired. The controls are not as bad as some people have you believe, but they're not great either. They're a little janky, a little wonky. The hitboxes are off at times. You definitely feel like you're getting hit, and just because the game is unfair, they're throwing so many things at you. And you can keep in mind, you can dash, but you're not impervious to damage when you're dashing. You do have a block button, but that block button goes by so quick that oftentimes you'll block something, you're going to get hit by something else. So I don't even use the block button half the time. You can charge up your weapon. It takes so damn long to charge it up that I forget that was even an option half the time. Then, the mechanics of the game, like they tried, and you can clearly see that there were some good ideas there, but they're not fully executed. So you can shoot different weapons, different colors, change weapons to attack different enemies, but it's never fully fleshed out. It makes no sense. Half the time I can't tell if one weapon's doing more damage to a boss than the other weapon. It's pointless. I will say it's a real shame that the reviewers, the big companies, did not review this game when it came out. It came out back in September, and I've had it for a while now. I got it day one. I pre-ordered it, and I played it originally, played a few levels of it, and then for whatever reason put it down. Probably was bored with it. I just, wasn't that interested in the gameplay. And then just recently I've come back to playing it, play a little bit of co-op, and, put somebody through the torture playing this with me, and then decided to just finish it by myself and not subject that person to any more horror. But the game, it's definitely below average. It's not the worst game in the world, as some will have you believe. If you go into it expecting Cuphead, then obviously you're going to be sorely disappointed. If you go into it expecting just a platform game, a boss rush type game, then it's not bad. If it was just the bosses and just a boss rush game, it probably wouldn't be too bad. It probably would at least be slightly below average. But as it stands now, and I'll go ahead and spoil the score. I'm still going to go ahead and talk about the game, but I'm giving this game a 3 out of 10. A Metacritic rating is 42, which is pretty poor, and a 3 sounds bad as well, but it's a strong 3. It's not the worst game in the world. Definitely worth a playthrough if you're into platformers, if you're into Cuphead. If you get this game on sale, I could then maybe sort of recommend it. Or if you borrow it from a friend. $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, maybe even $4.99. 10, 20 bucks? Heck no. Stay away from it. Back on track, back to the review. The story is all over the place, not fully fleshed out. You're sort of, I guess, time traveling, opening up portals to different worlds, and you're wizards, sort of, I guess. I don't know. I don't really care. The story is nonsensical. It's not why you play this type of game in the first place, but it would have been cool had there been a story that made sense and animation to back it up that would have added to the gameplay, would have added to the experience, but it doesn't exist. This game is available on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Series X, S. It's on PC too, I believe. It's on Nintendo Switch. I'm playing the PS5 version. It's a physical copy. 20 bucks is what I paid for it. I wish I could get a refund, but it's way too late now for that. It is not the greatest game in the world, but it's not the worst. I mean, that's not glowing endorsement or anything. It's not the worst. You could certainly gouge your eyes out, and that would be worse. But generally, it's a 5 out of 10 on Steam. So you judge for yourself. I think it's on sale at the time that I reviewed this on Switch for like 12 bucks for a digital copy. That could change, obviously, by the time this video is out, or by the time you're watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe if you want to see more of this content. It's been a minute since I've done something, so I wanted to flesh out this video, and this took time. Anything editing wise takes time, and this is terrible editing, so imagine if I really took the time to do some really great editing. Those videos would take 6 years to release. I've been busy, different jobs, different things, different stuff going on in my life, traveling, etc. So there's a lot of reasons why I haven't been on YouTube. Got demonetized there for a bit. If you don't post content, they want to make sure you don't get ad revenue off the content you do have, which is swell. So now I've got to go ahead and bust my tail and try to get monetized again. And I don't even know if I will or won't. It has its positives, it has its drawbacks. But Enchanted Portals, obviously, back to the game. More fun with 2 players. That's any game. Would have been great if it had online co-op. That could have maybe made it more fun. Could be a fun drinking game, I guess. Other than that, if you skip it, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But hopefully, other platform games that are inspired by Cuphead in the future don't just get pinned off as clones or ripoffs, because Cuphead didn't do it first. Contra, Mega Man. There's been lots of games. Gunstar Heroes, Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. Lots of games in this kind of genre. So every game is not stealing or ripping off another game. And if it's inspired by and maybe takes that genre to the next level, then so be it. I'm all for it. This game, though, is not that. But maybe, just maybe, the devs, and there's a small dev team. There's not even any credits. I've never seen anything like that in my life. This is, I guess, the first time I've ever seen a video game with no credits. You'd have to go back to probably Atari days. And even then, I think there's credits. But there's no credits whatsoever. It's just a thanks for playing, the 2 names, and that's it. Nothing scrolls by. They didn't spend any money on the credits. This game was a Kickstarter originally. Twice it got denied. Twice it didn't get funded. So people probably knew what was up. And then, just then, near the end, it got backed by Epic Games. They funded a bit of it. I don't know how much they poured into it. Evidently not enough. Maybe Microsoft could have saved this, like they, poured money into Cuphead. Maybe not. Probably not. But realistically, nobody could have helped this. But I think I'm excited to see what these devs do in the future. It's a failure, but it doesn't mean it's the end. You learn from our failures, and you can be successful later on. The only way to get true success is by failing. So, I'm excited to see what the devs do in the future. But this game right here, not it. Totally skippable. If you enjoy the animation, you want to watch, there's more of the bosses. All the bosses from World 2 and on are in this gameplay here. And the full ending's here. So if you want to watch it, knock yourself out. I've talked your head off. I'm not going to say anything else. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. It's been Next Level Taken. Enjoy the video. If you want to see more, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Leave a comment. Until next time. Shout out to the two devs that made this. They do tease a sequel for the future, but that's obviously never going to happen. Maybe in some other universe, some alternate timeline. Now, I will say that there's some people that say the Next Level Taken's fallen off, or that this is not indicative of the old Next Level Taken. But to them, I say I'm not out of touch. It's the youth that are out of touch, not me. You're still here? Why? It's been Next Level Taken. Till next time.